Hello everyone, it's Bernard here with the new Almost Painted channel, and I want to address today the hotfix that Games Workshop just did for the Leagues of Votann, and it actually surprised me so much, and I have a lot to say about it, but I will try to make this video quick and informative. So first, there were often armies that were too powerful and they were winning tournaments by a high margin. They were too cheap compared to other factions, or they were simply very hard to counter, and Games Workshop then updated their rules or their points cost down the road to bring them in line. Yeah, we all remember the Iron Hands from 8th edition, etc. But this is a very rare instance when Games Workshop fixed the army before it actually hit the tables. They weren't even at the major tournaments because the rules are now only available in the army set, so they aren't really widely available for people to test it out at home or in competitive environments. Yet Games Workshop fixed them in two ways. First of all, they increased the points cost, which I think it's totally fair, because based on what I've been, toying with them, testing the rules, and comparing to other factions, they were a little on the cheap side, especially on the multitude special rules that they have access to. And the point costs are okay, like they are acceptable to test them now with the adjusted points. I'm open-minded to see where it goes, although I am a little salty because now the Hekaton Land Fortress costs more than the Land Rider, which has 2 more wounds, higher toughness, 2+ save with Armor of Contempt, 4 last cannons, very powerful last cannons, and Hekaton Land Fortress is much more expensive, actually 45 points more, so the Land Rider could take multi-melta, additional war gear, and have support from the extensive support characters, rules, and interactions within the Chaos Codex, because it's simply a bigger codex. So yeah, I'm a little salty about it, and I'm also a little salty about the Chthonian Berserkers, because they went up to 30 points per model, which is actually ridiculously high for a model with only 6 up save, although with feel no pain, but 2 wounds, movement 5, and quite a few attacks, because they only have 3 attacks, and now they cost more than Chaos Possessed, which actually move 9 inches, 10 in the most popular creations of Bile. They have 5+ invulnerables, 3+ armor save with Armor of Contempt, no less. They have 3 wounds, so more. They have obviously toughness 5 as well. They have damage 2 weapons with 5 attacks, so they just go through everything quite easily. They're actually perfect counter against Chthonian Berserkers, if you think about it. And in Leagues of Vote and in Creations of Bile, they can move 10 inches. They can obviously advance and charge. You can give them via Psychic Power 5+ Feel No Pain, and you can bring them back with Master of Possession. And they cost less than Chthonian Berserkers, which is absurd in my opinion. But yeah, again, the points I'm willing to give it, benefit of the doubt. So I will test them, fill them in the new points, and I would be okay with them. Because for the rules that the Votann were getting, I think that they were a little too cheap. However, Games Workshop also fixed the rules. So the points adjustment, which I strongly feel were with the rules that were previously in mind, now affect models with significantly weaker rules. Because now the Judgment Token mechanic works in a way that you can never have a 6 to wound with them. If you score a hit that transfers to auto wound, it will never count as 6 to wound, which is actually devastatingly bad for Votann, because many of their weapons rely on 6s to wound to have additional effects. For example, the Magna Rail Rifle Spillover, which now is on a very expensive 300 point Hekaton Land Fortress, or for the rail rifles in the unit that can only basically be 1 every 10 models, so not a massive threat in my opinion. Now if you score a hit with a Judgment Token, it counts as a wound, but it will never trigger the spillover mechanic, which is ridiculous because it's a weapon with a strength 9 that you pay a ton of points for it, that I actually would prefer not to have judgment tokens. And it's not something that I, can just say I won't give judgment tokens, because if the enemy will destroy me a unit, do an action even, like Marker Light, they already have a judgment token, which can actually save their unit, Now the enemy can use judgment token mechanic to serve their asses. And it's ridiculous, because Guard has a similar mechanic, but they have weapon with strength 6. So auto-wounding for them is fantastic. They have mass amount of shots. They can get rerolls with Kadia or other, Harken, and for them it's tremendous boost even with 6s to 1. And they have on a whole enemy army from the get-go. With Leagues of Votann you have to build it up unit by unit, and it takes time before it can, be army-wide, and before it can be better than 6+ to hit. And on Leagues of Votann it's on fewer weapons, because you just pay more points, so you have fewer models, and their weapons are natively stronger, which means, you basically are saving, for example, 2+ to wound. You have auto wound now, but you lose the ability to trigger special mechanics like the damage spillover. And I think it's very, 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 very sad that army-wide mechanic that should be a bonus for a, coherent army is now a liability that I don't want to use, that players probably don't want to use, and they will switch to other leagues that don't benefit that much with the judgment token mechanic. And I think that this fix, the fact that it's again double-sided, like many times before actually, it's very bad approach, especially that soon before we actually got to see them, in real life. And either the points were adjusted in the previous rules in mind, or the rules are simply too harsh of a change. I think that only the points adjustment would be fine, although again, comparison with other units, it's not good looking for Votann now. They went from being undercosted to being overcosted, and I think that the worst thing of all is that it happened so quickly before we had all the units to test, to play with, and it basically was a result of an overreaction, of an outcry from the community. But remember, people were crying that the Eldar were too powerful, that the book is OP because everything is so powerful in the Eldar army, and they are strong, but they are okay. Like, I would like to play against Eldar because I know how to beat them. They are fine. And I think that Eldar would win against Votann most of the times because of the speed, because of Mortal Wound and Psychic Access, and good melee. But actually every army with fast-moving melee units like Creations of Bile have high chance against Votann. So the top tier, the most competitive armies, they will beat Votann even before the rules adjustment. So I'm really disappointed. The Games Workshop listened to basically, overreaction. Very vocal community, and yeah, the people were crying about the Tau railgun. People were crying about many things in the past, and yeah, Games Workshop now decided to do it before actually testing it out, and do it, double Nerf hammer, basically making this army, in my opinion, underdog from the get-go. They have poor secondaries, unlike Necrons. They have very poor melee, that now they have to pay more for it. They are very slow, so they will have hard time playing the mission. They are kinda strong, but on a one-wound models, the Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard will just clear the board like a lawnmower, and now you can't even use your railguns to clear them a little faster to have a even field. Any army with good strong psychic will clear them with mortal wounds because they have only one wound each. They have almost no mortal wound protection. Their toughness isn't great. They're safe across the boards. They aren't so great. And people didn't give them a chance. They, just read some article, maybe the leaked codex, and they were so quick to jump to the conclusions. They were like nitpicking some rules interactions because there were strong combos, I agree, but their combos were kind of carrying the rest of the army. Again, weak secondaries is something that needs to be carried with other strong stuff, and now Votann have fewer and fewer good things to play, and you know, and the rules, they contradict each other. Now you don't want to use judgment tokens, which is the whole rulebook, whole codex mechanic, something that, you know, should make them stand out, be different, and I'm very disappointed. But I want to hear your thoughts, because maybe now I'm overacting, maybe I'm now stupid, maybe the fact that in the test games, for example on Tabletop Titans, the Votann were losing, maybe, you know, maybe they just didn't know how to play, or maybe in contrary, maybe Adrian knew how to play his Eldar to beat Votann, which he did, and it was the community that overreacted. Who is right? Anyway, I think that Games Workshop should wait at least, you know, 2 more weeks. I totally don't agree with it. I'm actually, it's a grudge in time, Games Workshop. You gain a judgment token, which I don't want to give you because it now makes my cool weapons and rules and, you know, character upgrades weaker. So that's why I made this video. But I will be also doing a speed painting of this set. I will try to find the fastest and also the best, you know, the nicest looking way to paint them in a variation on the widely popular Hyperturian Alliance. The orange guys, to change it a little, to still have the juicy orange, some white armor, and make them, you know, more universal, to choose whatever league you want. And I will try to paint them as effortlessly and as fast as possible to make them ready basically in 24 hours. So stay tuned for that, some painting tutorials, and obviously for battle reports, because we, with my friend Peter, will be doing battle reports. They will be available on this channel, so subscribe for it. And yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this change? If it's overreaction, or maybe it's totally justified thing, because otherwise Leagues of Votann would totally break the game. And yeah, let me know also what you think about this video, what you expect from this channel, because you have the opportunity to be one of the first, one of the early ones, and actually influence our channel. So yeah, hopefully you liked it. Then give this video a like, subscribe, and if not, just comment what are your thoughts, what do you disagree with, and am I stupid from, you know, advocating for Leagues of Votann? I think that they deserve to be strong. Maybe more towards elite army. Points adjustment would be just fine, but I'm still shocked that Games Workshop just did this way in the middle of a week, out of the blue sky, basically nerfed the army to the ground. Okay, so hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.